All right, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you could, please hit the subscribe button and that notification button so that way you stay up to date with all my future content. I'm starting to realize that there are quite a few of you who watch my videos but are not subscribed. So, yeah, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you like the content that you are hearing. And without further ado, we're going to get started. But before that, let me apologize for my absence last week. I recorded a video on the topic that I was going to speak on, and for whatever reason, it would not upload. Now, typically when I upload my videos, what I do is I set a premiere time. So, for example, in this instance, I am recording this video on a day that it's going to be released, which is Tuesday. But typically when I record my videos, it's several days in advance for two reasons. Number one, just in case there are any upload issues, I can fix it and I have time. And number two, I'm just busy, between working and school. So it's easier for me to upload content if I set separate days aside for such. Nonetheless, it is what it is. Lesson learned. I got to make sure I work on uploading the videos days ahead of time. But yeah, this week we're going to be coming with quite a few shorts as well, really within the next 2 weeks. And then the week of, not next week, but the week after next, I have a special video with a special guest coming your way. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. All right. Without further ado, here we go. So today's topic is going to be talking about the Roe versus Wade overturned. All right. Now, disclaimer. Everybody has their own opinions on the subject matter. My opinions are not a reflection to offend anybody. I'm just simply giving my thoughts on the overall issue, and I want to clear up some misconceptions that some people may not know about. Okay? So first of all, Roe versus Wade. In case you don't know what that is, that's basically, when it was abortions were allowed by women for not really just specific reasons. Really, it could be almost any reason at all. You know what I'm saying? But the reason this was created was because, there were a lot of complications that happened, or there are even to this day, a lot of complications that happen due to childbirth. And, there are times where a woman may need to get an abortion, or a woman is, far enough and she may decide, okay, I really don't want this child. I might need to go through an emergency abortion, just for the simple fact that maybe there's a possibility whatever thing she tried to, prevent herself from getting pregnant, it still happened. You know what I'm saying? There's many reasons why abortions take place. I'm not going to get too much into the list. I think we're all aware of the reasons. But my 2 cents on it is, as far as it being overturned. Well, actually, before I get to that, let me address this point. I am not pro-abortion or pro-life per se. I'm pro-choice. I think everybody should have the right to make the choice that they want to make within reason, of course. And I'll get to within reason why in just a second. Abortion has been a sticky subject with me only because, and I'm not going to get too personal with this one, because it doesn't just involve me per se, but I have seen a situation with abortion, or the talk of abortion, I should say, that was somewhat a disturbing experience. And like I said, because it involves other people outside of myself, I won't get personal on that note. But that's why abortion has always been a sticky subject with me. I've never agreed with the idea of abortion, or better yet, I didn't agree with the idea of abortion, except under certain circumstances where, for example, there was childbirth complications, or, a woman was sexually assaulted, or RAPED, you know what I'm saying? Those were definitely conditions in which I'm like, all right, if a woman wants to get an abortion, hey, I'm all for it, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they may not understand why, but I'll explain that a little later on as well. The part where I did not agree with the abortion aspect was where you would have women, and some men too, that would agree to get an abortion after not using protection or contraceptives during physical intimacy. And the reason why I don't agree with that is because if you really don't want to get pregnant, there's ways that you can go about avoiding getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, yes, it is true. Sometimes it fails. I've definitely heard stories of women getting pregnant even though they were on birth control. I've heard stories of protection, used by men breaking, contraceptives not working, the PO method not working, which is not really a good idea from what I've done on my research to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But with all those things being said, I think it's an issue when you abuse the system like that. Again, I can understand abortion if you were sexually assaulted or are a you-know-what. I can understand abortion if your body just has complications in which if you were to have a child, it could put you at risk of death or, a long sustained injury. I can understand that. But don't abuse the system when there's other methods you can go about and other ways you can go about preventing this if you're not ready to have a child or if you don't want to have a child with that person. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? A lot of oopsies can be prevented if we go about doing things in a more protective fashion. What I'm hoping is the silver lining of all this is, because a lot of people were upset about this issue, and rightfully so. A lot of women are upset about this issue, and rightfully so. But my hope is that, and this may sound ignorant to some people, but I'm just going to keep it real. I keep it real on this channel, right? My hope is that this allows us to be more careful with who we choose to lay down with. I've said this time and time again in many Teachable Tuesday videos. We live in a very, very, very sexually saturated environment. And because we live in that type of environment, we often have the mindset of, I can kind of do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. Which, again, you have that choice. But the problem is there's often consequences for that choice. When you lay down with somebody, you take that risk of getting them pregnant or getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't cop out every time it happens. Now, granted, I understand. We make choices. We make, good choices and we make bad choices. And nobody by any means is perfect at all. Myself included. I've been there. However, you have to understand that you have to be responsible and accountable for your actions. Same difference, really. You know what I'm saying? You can't just expect to cop out every single time you get somebody preggo or you get preggo. You know what I'm saying? And again, that might sound a little bit harsh to some people. Some people might not want to hear it, but I'm going to just keep it real because that's what Teachable Tuesdays is all about. Sometimes I'll say some things that are controversial. Sometimes I'll say some things that are not very much liked. And this might be one of those subjects, but it's all in truth and it's all in love. You know what I'm saying? I'll never diss somebody or bash somebody for the decisions that they've made, but understand that there are good and bad outcomes for choices that you make, and myself included. You know what I'm saying? I'm not excused from any of that. So that's my hope. We're a little more cautious now about who we choose to lay down with. Now, let me clear up some misconceptions about the Roe versus Wade. Apparently, a lot of people believe that all states are automatically going to follow this, this law set in place now. Or should I say the amendment to this law? Because that's exactly what they did. They amended this law, which is ridiculous. I'm going to get into that real quick, too. It does not affect all 50 states. Okay? There are still some states that are saying, nah, we're not doing this. We're still going to allow abortions as, necessary, right? Also, keep in mind, even with the states that have these abortion laws set, there are some where the conditions are set, like I mentioned. Like, for example, if a woman does have medical proof of where she could possibly have child complications, or if a woman is sexually assaulted or are PED, then those exceptions will go into place as well. But what this is going to cause is a lot of women and men too, really, when you think about it, to have to be more mindful and cautious about their moves. Now, what I've been seeing online is there have been some women that have been saying, well, and some of it has been jokingly, but some of it has been some seriousness even in the joking, some truth even in the joking, saying stuff like, well, guess ain't nobody getting this now, or, now every man got to suffer, and this and that, and so on and so forth. And a lot of women are upset because they're saying men don't have a right to tell us what we do with our bodies. Rightfully so. I can't disagree with that. But you also have to understand there weren't just men on that case. You know what I'm saying? There were women on that case too. So that's where, when it comes to decisions that a government makes or any higher ups make, you have to understand that that ain't just a man thing, that ain't just a woman thing. That's a they do what they want thing. And I think the scary part about this Roe versus Wade situation is if they can amend something like that, imagine what else they can amend. You know what I'm saying? You took away something from women that was initially put in place. And regardless if we agree or disagree on abortion or whatever the case may be, you still changed the law. So what other laws can you change? It's scary to think about it. This is kind of the bigger picture beyond all this. You know what I'm saying? We're over here arguing about abortion or when it's bigger than abortion. I'm not taking anything away from how women feel about this situation, or even how men feel about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to do that. But I just want you guys to look at the bigger picture and realize there's more than meets the eye. Okay? And I'm not on no conspiracy theorist type of stuff, but I'm just telling you what's blatantly in front of our faces. Or even what's not in front of our faces for that matter. Okay? So overall, regardless of what stance you take, regardless if you're pro-abortion, pro-life, pro-choice, I want us all to do a favor. There's a lot going on right now, even beyond the Roe versus Wade situation. I want us to be a little bit more sensitive to each other's thoughts, our feelings on the subject, and so on and so forth. I'm not saying don't tell the truth. Give it to them straight. But let's also be mindful, and respectful of how people feel. Okay? Because there's a lot going on right now. And like I was telling a group of friends the other day, I think more importantly, what the world needs right now is love and understanding. All right? So as we continue to have these discussions and what we can do moving forward, some people are choosing to protest in different ways. That is definitely their right and their choice. And I don't think anyone should try to disrupt them from that. I think we also need to know about the facts. And there's one more thing that I want to bring up in terms of abortions. Like I mentioned before, childbirth, when a woman carries a child, right? And this is something that a lot of men don't understand. It is difficult for that woman in many different ways. She has many hormonal changes going on in her body. And, I know people have made jokes about women's hormones being all out of whack when it's that time of the month. Or it's really out of whack when a woman is pregnant. Now, I haven't experienced a woman close to me like a significant other being pregnant, but I've seen family members and enough friends to know that that junk is true, right? But you got to also understand in the process of her carrying that child, there's dangers associated with that. And one of those dangers could be death. In fact, I'm going to give you a statistic real quick. This is not Marcus saying, this is scientifically proven. African American women are 40% more likely to have a long-term injury or death from childbirth compared to other women. And mind you, that percentage is already high enough for women. So that puts some things into perspective to think about, right? So, yeah, do your research. You know, whatever stance you choose it. Rock with it well. But also be sensitive to other people's opinions. You can respectfully agree to disagree. I think we need to do more of that these days. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's enough of that for today. Thank you guys for joining me today. I understand this was a controversial topic. Like I said, I'm not afraid to shy from other topics. Seeing as we did not have a Teachable Tuesdays video last week, I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 special this week. So be on the lookout this Thursday for another video coming out. All right, and once again, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Love you guys. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe.